Hello, everybody. How's everybody doing? Doing great? Glad to hear. Just want to take a moment just to thank everybody. I really do appreciate your time and consideration for letting us present. So, without further ado, we are Mountain Crest Construction. Um, really appreciate you letting us present our response to the Hyatt Regency proposal. So, at least as the bottom line and our goals for this proposal, it will be that we want to deliver a safe project, a project that is delivered on time, a project that is going to be done within budget, and then we want to deliver a product to you that is up to the standard of quality that the guests and you are more than satisfied with. So, moving on to the team that will be on the Salt Lake City Hyatt Regency. As my name is Harrison Rediker, I will be the senior project manager, also known as the director of dirt. Kira Modreski, who will be the lead estimator as the bid boss. Landon Tarrant as the superintendent, as the tower tactician. And last but not least, Izzy Kovacs, the safety manager, the safety centennial. So, looking at Mountain Crest at a glance, is we were founded in 1981, and ever since then, and to date, we have completed a total contract value of $3.7 billion in the hospitality sector in this region. Our repeat client rate is 93%. Total projects that we have done since 2015 regarding hospitality is 14, and 3 of those are Hyatt Regencies. So let's talk about that relationship. So, of course, we've done a Las Vegas Hyatt Regency in the year 1990. So we've done the Denver Hyatt Regency project, which Kira Modreski, Isabella Sanchez, and Alan Holcomb will be on the Salt Lake City Hyatt Regency project. The Denver Hyatt had us do a renovation project. They had picked us without going through the bid process, and hopefully today can start the Salt Lake City Hyatt Regency. So, just as an overview on what we're going to cover today, it's the project cost, which will be $231 million. The overall schedule, from notice to proceed to final completion of 36 months or 3 years. Project performance, so our self-performed work, which is 17.8%. And then we want to show you the Mountain Crest construction way of delivering a quality project and a safe project. So now I'll hand it off to the bid boss for the estimate.
Thank you, Harrison. I would like to just quickly go over a total cost breakdown a little more in depth using our core major components throughout the scope. Our fees and insurances are going to come out to a little under 10.8 million. Our general conditions are coming out to a little under 13.8 million. Our self-perform is coming out to 41 million, and our direct costs are just under 198.5 million. All of this together is bringing our total cost breakdown to $231,001,297. So I'm very confident that we can achieve this cost for our total cost breakdown because our process starts with a detailed quantity takeoff with our team of talented estimators at MCC who will analyze the drawings and utilize tools such as Bluebeam and on-screen takeoff to deliver quantities that capture all elements of the scope. I am personally really confident in my quantity takeoffs because I'm just very meticulous with it all and making sure all my numbers are exactly where I want them to be. F- Oh, following this, our estimates procedure starts with the mountain construction staff who are gonna leverage historical cost data to ensure accuracy and completeness with our price. Our estimate process is a workflow that starts with a quantity takeoff, and then we go to our pricing for material, labor, equipment, and general conditions. All of this combined with our past experience working in Salt Lake City gives us a greater understanding of the local conditions in the area and our pricing. Our long-term relationships with local trade partners and subcontractors make us feel very confident that we can ensure a competitive and reliable price to our clients. Utilizing these partnerships, we are also able to get real time cost data and anticipate market changes such as escalation and potential tariffs. I would now like to pass it over to our tower tactician, Landon Tarrant.
Thank you, Kara. Here at Mountain Crest Construction, will be self-performing all of our cast-in-place concrete and our foundation concrete, which our total self-performed scope will be approximately $41 million and 18% self-performing. At Mountain Crest Construction, we will be installing every cubic yard of concrete, which will be mitigating scheduling delays, additional costs with third-party contractors. Moving forward with how will Mountain Crest achieve this? At Mountain Crest Construction, we will achieve this by self-performing all of our concrete work, mitigating all scheduling delays, labor productivity, and value management within other third-party contractors. Moving forward, how will we do this? At Mountain Crest Construction, we will be implementing an aggressive start strategy, which will implement early procurement and long lead items such as MEP equipment. We will also use concurrent mobilization, foundation start, and lastly, tight coordination with owners, contractors through weekly meetings before the job even begins. And how will we do that? We will do that by implementing an owner-hired trade coordination. This will save the owner time, money, and lastly, scheduling delays. And then our value engineering option we included would be prefabricating bathroom pods, improving quality and reducing on-site congestion, which will thus save the owner approximately $1.4 million. Our QC manager at Mountain Crest Construction is FAA Part 107 drone certified, this will give real-time updates through fully autonomous production project. This will give us fully autonomous project management on the site, giving real-time updates to the contractor, the owner. I'll now give it off to our safety centennial, Izzy.
Thank you, Landon. My favorite part about working at Mountain Crest Construction is that I get to work with my favorite people every single day. At Mountain Crest, we believe that the most important part of a project isn't necessarily the structure itself, but it's the people and the owner relationships that we get to have. Every action that we take, we will take with the effort and intention that every single person on our site returns home safely every single day. For the Hyatt Regency project, we have identified some key significant safety risks. The first one is fall hazards. In order to mitigate that, we are going to have 100% tie-off systems for all work that goes above 6 feet. In addition to that, we're going to have guardrail systems and lifeline systems that are installed directly after decking. Another thing, we will have controlled access zones, training, and daily audits. Crane and hoisting operations will also be a significant risk on our site. To mitigate that, we will have certified operators, riggers, and as well as signal personnel, when they will only be the people that are doing lifting. Lift plans will be specific to the site, and we will also have engineered reviewed rigging. We recognize at Mountain Crest Construction that the only part of safety isn't physical. It's important that our people have mental health well-being. That is why we will have mental health awareness posters throughout the site. They will be encouraging our people to support each other, to come reach out, as well as be a family as a whole. We recognize that Hyatt Regency's mission statement is that when people care, they do better. And we recognize that as well with our mission statement, because when we care, we create a family. And when we feel like a family, then we can execute your vision. In addition to that, our company can see that there has been a history of a stigma with mental health in the industry, and we are dedicating to eradicating that. As our CEO always says, nothing you do on the job site today is as important as you getting home safely to your family. I'm going to pass it back to our dirt director. Thank you.
Alrighty, that's your time, team. Alrighty. Well, thank you for your time and open up for questions.
Yeah, I've got a question for you. On your slide about your estimate, you noted you take a lot of consideration into the market trends. Can you elaborate on what kind of trends you're seeing in the market right now?
Yes, absolutely. Thank you for the question. Are you talking about like escalation and tariffs? Is that what you are looking for?
I'm looking for your opinion, yes, on what kind of trends you're seeing on cost in the market.
Yes, absolutely. So, of course, it's going to be a huge risk on this project. So, with steel being one of the most expensive items, and that is really extremely hard to get, is of course that's one of the earliest submittals. And as you can see in our schedule, is all those early procurement items that we need and that we have to get as soon as possible. We need to lock in pricing and get those submittals done as soon as possible to honestly get the material there. So, escalation will not be an issue.
For the earthquake that happened per Addendum 6, can you explain the first couple steps you took to secure the site and confirm the safety of any trades on site?
Yes, absolutely. And I will hand that question off to our safety centennial.
Thank you for that question. So, as it said, we would have 20-minute increments, right? So our first 20 minutes are going to be a protocol where we duck and cover, just to ensure that everybody is safe across the site. The next 20 minutes are going to be followed by a head count of everybody, make sure there's no injuries, and then followed by that, we're going to have our safety team take a look at the site and make sure that there's no hazards. But we're also going to exit the site for the day, send everybody home so that we can remediate and go look in at more depth the next day.
I went over here on the
Yes.
side. So we get some pretty substantial rain in the winters here.
Mhm.
Can you tell me more about your water mitigation plan and how you plan on making sure we don't have any issues with water coming into the building and causing schedule issues?
Yes, absolutely. Especially in the early phases of the project where we're going to be underground, is what we want to establish is well points. So we can have a dewatering system and, of course, routing all that back to the storm drains, of course, with the silt sock around it. So, of course, just taking all the water ultimately out of the site. So there is cost associated with that in the general conditions to help mitigate that and get the water out of the site as soon as possible.
So I noticed, sorry, over here, Barlow.
Yeah.
I noticed that you had mentioned that you're prefabricating the bathroom pods, and I'm just curious, what have you done to ensure that the Salt Lake City can get comfortable with that from a permitting standpoint?
From a permitting standpoint,
A permitting.
permitting standpoint, oh, apologies. From a permitting standpoint, of course, it's just going to take the early coordination with the AHJ. So that's honestly going to be the large thing. And it really just comes down to that. So, of course, stepping into new territory with prefabricating bathrooms is still a little bit new, honestly. Don't see it in many projects. And honestly, it could save a lot of money, to be honest. And honestly, yeah.
Hey, right behind her on the back right. With the prefabricated bathroom pods, at what point in the schedule would you plan on installing those, and how would you get those on the elevated floors and keep them protected?
Excellent question. And honestly, that was something that I had looked at myself when I was putting together this proposal. So, honestly, when it comes to actually getting the phase of project that it would actually be happening is roughly around the same time as glazing. So the prefabricated bathrooms would go on a outrigging platform and they will be set by the tower cranes and they will be pushed back into place. There is additional concern for, hey, if we're going to do a prefabricated bathroom, there might be an extra lip that may not be level with the floor. So that would also cause changes with the slab that we would be placing. Um, think I answered that question right?
I noticed on your guys' site utilization plans that you guys have cameras listed. I didn't see that in your estimate breakdown. Where do you guys have that captured, and what does the cost look like for that?
Captured in site security, of course, and cost of that would be just a monthly billing.
I had a question about your self-perform right here.
Yes.
You said that you're gonna be self-performing cast piles. That's a pretty specialized scope. Um, do you have experience in the past, A, and B, do you own the equipment or are you going to rent it?
To answer that question is we will be renting the auger cast piling equipment, but when it comes to actually placing the equipment itself, that will be us, and of course, tying all of the rebar cages together. I know it's a more of a specialty trade as you will. But honestly, it is our goal for this project is that every single cubic yard of concrete will be placed by Mountain Crest Construction.
Following up on that, do you have experience in other projects?
Yes, we do, and it is listed in our past projects.
I have one more question following up on the self-performed work. It's a pretty large scope, $41 million self-perform. What are you doing to ensure for the owner that that cost is competitive and in line with the market pricing?
Can pass that question off to our tower tactician.
Thank you, Harris. To mitigate the cost of other trades, we will be supplying our own trade contractors that already have a set pay limit that's already in our contract.
And also to further along is in this slide, we do have long-standing relationships with the local concrete ready-mix suppliers, so we can secure pricing so that price does not change from the start of the project. It's going to be consistent all the way through.
Got one right here. Should Utah OSHA show up on site, how do you handle that situation?
Should they show up on site, that wouldn't be an issue for us. We're always welcome for them to come, as we're always following the correct protocols. We would honestly answer whatever questions they wanted. If they want a site tour, we'd take them through that, and we'd show them every step of our process along the way.
In reviewing your estimate, I noticed you have $0 for pools and fountains, but there is an outdoor pool on this project. Can you walk me through how you're accounting for and funding that scope of work?
Yeah, that is a great question, and I can pass that off to the bid boss.
Yes, thank you for your question. To answer you, I believe we covered it in our clarifications and assumptions instead because of the way the owner form template was set up.
Same question. Another question for the bid boss.
Yeah. Sounds like a tax incentives might not be coming through. We might be short $10 million. So any thoughts or ideas that you have that would help us get there?
Can you specify where?
Nope. I'm looking for ideas from you guys.
Okay. You said 10 million?
Yep.
My best assumption for that is that it might have just ended up through the addendums going through.
Well, cool. Okay.
I would say that we're very confident in our estimate, and it would be fitting somewhere. Obviously, there's going to be a little bit of room for wiggle room, but the way that we have written out our estimate and all of those things, it should be okay.
Yes, we are very confident in our final price as we have had our whole estimating team working through it and making sure every single quantity takeoff and every single price is the best ability within the market.
So in your start of structural steel, it shows 3 cranes that are going to be working in that same proximity. Can you explain how you're going to achieve that work safely?
Great question. And honestly, this is one of the biggest site risks that we really have on this project. With it being such a tight site, is honestly there's like almost no room for material laydown, and all of a sudden we want 3 cranes, right? And that's the only way that we can really make it happen. So of course, it's going to be honestly just sectioning off areas and having radio communication through all the primarily tower crane 2 and the crawler crane through the primary start of structural steel.
In your proposal, you mentioned using Dusty Robotics to do your framing and wall layout. Did you factor in the price of that system into your schedule, considering that that can cost upwards of $20,000 a month? It's quite expensive to keep on site for long durations.
Yes, absolutely. And it would be only for the guest room layout. That's the primary purpose behind it. And of course, a little bit of a value engineering that we have put into our base bid was that it would be used prior to dry-in. So it's just one less tray to track up the tower.
Yeah. I got a question for Harrison. Can you walk me through over here?
Yes, thank you.
Can you walk me through how you came up with Terry Crews to play you in a movie?
Terry Crews, honestly. Okay, so 2 reasons for you. There's number 1 is I'm pretty sure we can bench press the same, right? Like, honestly. Come on, let's be it. And number 2 is I just really, really like the movie White Chicks.
So getting this building powered up is a pretty major concern. The 3-year stretch that you have to build this thing, forecasted about 15 to 18 data centers are going to be built in the state of Utah. How do you plan on competing with Meta and Microsoft and Google to get the required conductors and electrical equipment to fire up your hotel? I'm very interested in your thought process there.
Yeah, absolutely. Is with it being such a long duration, is we got time. That's honestly the critical thing. Is right from the get go. Is securing, of course, trade partners right from the early submittal process that we have going on. So locking those submittals in as early as possible will ensure that we have the equipment on site and the materials to deliver this project.
How do you plan on staying on schedule with loss of manpower during hunting season in Utah?
That is a interesting question. Honestly, Landon, if you want to help me out with this.
We'll implement that by bringing on our own laborers through our self-performing work.
Truly is labor is not an issue because at least without the concrete scope, the critical path at least, going through hunting season, we got people.
Yeah, we could come to an agreement with them. I love hunting. I mean, find a way.
Our partners over at the NBA had come to us and are asking to move in a week early.
Mhm.
Do you think we can accommodate that with them? And then if so, how does that approach look?
Now, believe it or not, it's actually a really, really close call. Is with that one, is we were able to make it within that addendum and with no additional costs. But honestly, a week prior may set those risks at an extra $100,000. So a way to mitigate that would be, of course, maybe adding an extra elevator crew that could honestly help with it. Because honestly, the big concern with that part is getting the elevators up and running. To be honest, the room is already done and ready, honestly, like 2 months in advance before the elevators are fully operational to get all the way up to floor 25.
How do you handle a subcontractor that is not performing, i.e., falling behind schedule? And do you have an example of that on a past project?
So the way that we would work at that is since we're such a family value company, we would first try to connect to them individually, right? We would try to see how they're doing, what's going on, why are they falling behind? And then once we have that clear communication with them, we express our concerns, they express their concerns back to us, then hopefully we can come to a conclusion that gets them right back on track.
If it really comes down to it and they're like not performing, honestly, just to be completely honest, on the past project, like the Astro Tower, is we had our interior framers, they just, uh, hands up. So honestly, the way that it was handled was it came to pulling bonds, unfortunately. So that's how that one went.
I've got a question. Can you tell me what percentage of small business you have on this team and what scopes they will be performing?
Small business. Sorry, rephrase the question one more time, please.
What percentage of this of your project team is going to be performed by small businesses to meet our goals as the client? We're looking to get women-owned, minority-owned businesses for outreach. So, what's your percentage on this job, and what scopes will they be performing?
Well, right off the bat is we are a women-owned business. So right there, right off the bat is 17.8%. We're already there just by choosing Mountain Crest Construction. We also do have a individual, a DEI manager who helps out with the submittal, or not submittal, just the buyout process to ensure that we can meet and exceed those expectations on every job that we do.
What do you plan to accomplish in the 4 to 6 weeks after being awarded the contract?
One more time, please.
What do you plan to accomplish in the 4 to 6 weeks after being awarded the contract?
The 46 weeks after being awarded the project? Yes. So, of course, that's going to be locking in our subcontractors, signing contracts, the invitations to bid, and finalizing those subcontracts. That's going to be the big items. And, of course, getting those early submittals out as soon as possible. That's what that primary phase, honestly, is for prior to actually mobilizing and putting the shovel in the dirt.
One last question, please.
Yes.
Hi, great job. We're interviewing 9 other companies for this project today. Can you tell me what differentiates you and why we should choose you?
Great question. And oh boy, do I have a slide for that. So of course, it is we have such a wide range of people that we have to support the manpower, so labor shortage is not going to be an issue. We have long-standing relationships with these concrete suppliers and the ready-mix suppliers that we have, as well as we own all of our own large formwork, so all the table form systems and the jump form systems. We have that, so you're not going through a renter. And those are the big reasons.
Thank you, team.
Thank you.